In this video, you'll learn about glandular epithelia that form endocrine and exocrine glands and how these different types of glands are distinguished. Endocrine glands produce hormones that are chemical messages which travel in the blood throughout the body in order to regulate the functions of other cells and organs in the body. Exocrine glands produce a product that's expelled from the body. Sweat glands are a familiar example. Many of the exocrine glands are organs of the digestive system. We see in the illustration here, the salivary glands make saliva that's excreted into the oral cavity. So even though the oral cavity is deep, the space through the GI tract, that lumen, is considered outside of the body. So gastric juice is excreted by glands called gastric gland within the wall of the stomach. The intestines also contain glands that excrete mucus, and the liver excretes something called bile that gets stored and concentrated in the gallbladder and then excreted into the small intestine. The pancreas is an interesting organ because it is both an endocrine gland and an exocrine gland. The pancreas contains islets that are the endocrine tissue that produces the hormone insulin and glucagon that are important for regulating the blood glucose concentration. The acinar cells of the pancreas are the exocrine tissue. The pancreatic juice excreted by the acinar cells travels out of the pancreas through the pancreatic duct into the small intestine at a region of the small intestine called the duodenum. This pancreatic juice contains digestive enzymes that help to break down the nutrients in our food. A gland consists of one or more epithelial cells that produce a secretion. The goblet cell is a unicellular exocrine gland called a goblet cell because the staining pattern kind of looks similar to a goblet or a cup, sort of like a wine glass, where the region up here that contains the exocrine product that's being secreted doesn't stain like the other cell. So these secretory vesicles contain mucin, which is a protein that gives the thick and slippery consistency to mucus. So goblet cells help to produce mucus, and they're found throughout the respiratory and digestive mucous membrane. Most glands use what's called a merocrine mechanism of secretion. Like we saw with the goblet cell, there are secretory vesicles that contain the substance that will be secreted, and these vesicles merge with the cell membrane to release their product in a mechanism of exocytosis. Some of our glands use an apocrine secretion mechanism where the apical surface of the cell is pinched off and forms the secretion. Another mechanism called holocrine secretion involves the entire cell dying and becoming the secretory product. Here we see the endocrine portion of the pancreas, a pancreatic islet that uses merocrine secretion for releasing insulin and glucagon, that are both hormones that travel through the blood to regulate blood glucose concentrations. And then over here, we see the pancreatic acinar cell that also use merocrine secretion to release digestive enzymes. In this image of the skin, we're focused on a hair follicle, and next to it is a sebaceous gland. And then just below that, we see here a sweat. This sweat gland uses the merocrine secretion mechanism to secrete sweat, but this sebaceous gland uses the holocrine secretion mechanism. So in the holocrine secretion mechanism, the apical surface of the cells breaks off. It forms the exocrine product, in this case, an oily secretion called sebum. Whereas with the merocrine secretion mechanism, these cells have secretory vesicles that secrete sweat by exocytosis. Here we see an image of the mammary gland, where these epithelial cells use an apocrine secretion mechanism, where the entire cell dies and forms the exocrine product. In this case, it's milk that's being produced and secreted out of the body.